It's strange how silence can scream louder than words, how someone's absence can fill a room that used to feel too small for both of you. It started slow, the distance, the late replies, the "I'm just tired" texts, the little pauses between words that used to flow so easily. I noticed it. Of course I did. You don't forget the sound of someone pulling away, even when they are still standing next to you. I told myself it was just stress, that you still cared, that love doesn't fade, it just gets quiet sometimes. But deep down, I knew. You were already gone, not physically, but in all the ways that mattered. In the way you stopped asking how my day was, in the way your goodnights started feeling like goodbyes. The worst part wasn't losing you. It was realizing I was the only one trying to hold on, that I was fighting for something you'd already let go of. I remember the night I finally understood. It was raining, it always rains in endings. I sent you a message, something simple. Are we okay? You saw it. You didn't reply. And that silence, that single minute of nothing, it said more than any words could. After that, I stopped trying. I stopped checking if you'd text back. Stopped rewriting messages I'd never send. Because I realized you can make someone stay who's already halfway out the door. People say time heals everything, but they don't tell you how much it hurts while you're waiting. How the nights stretch out longer, how your bed feels colder, how even your favorite songs start sounding like reminders. I kept your number, not because I planned to call, but because deleting it felt too final, like admitting it was really over. There were days I swore I was fine, days I left, met new people, pretended I'd moved on, but then something, a scent, a song, a random street, would pull me right back to you, and I'd remember every word, every look, every "I love you" that slowly turned into silence. Sometimes, I wonder if you ever think of me, not out of guilt or nostalgia but just curiosity. Do you remember the way I used to stay up to hear about your day? The way I believed every promise you made? The way I made you feel like home? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But either way, I've learned something. Love doesn't always end in explosions. Sometimes, it just fades, quietly, slowly, until one day, you wake up and realize you've stopped checking your phone. You've stopped waiting. You've stopped hoping. And that's when it hits you, they're never coming back. But here's the truth no one talks about, that's not the sad part. The sad part is how you still find them in everything you do. In the way you make coffee. In the way you say goodnight to no one. In the way you still look for their face in a crowd. You heal, but not completely. You move on, but not fully. Because love leaves marks, invisible but deep. And sometimes, you miss someone not because you want them back, but because part of you still lives in the moments they left behind. And maybe that's okay. Maybe healing isn't forgetting. Maybe it's learning to carry the memory without letting it break you anymore. Now, when it rains, I still think of you, but not with pain. Just quiet acceptance. Because some people aren't meant to stay. They're meant to teach you how to stand alone. And when I look at the reflection in the window, I see someone I barely recognize, stronger, softer, still standing after everything fell apart. You're gone. But I'm still here, and maybe that's the real ending. Not the goodbye, not the silence, but the fact that I survived it. It's been months now, maybe more. Time feels strange when you're healing. It moves slow when it hurts, then disappears the moment you start to feel okay again. I don't count the days anymore, but sometimes, my heart still does. It remembers the dates that meant nothing to anyone but us. It remembers the messages that used to light up my phone, and the sound of a voice that once felt like home. I see your name sometimes, in old photos, in random files, in memories I forgot to delete. And for a second, it still feels like something inside me stops. Not in pain, just in recognition. It's strange how someone can be gone for so long, and yet a part of them still lives inside the quiet moments, in the songs I don't skip, in the places I avoid, in the words I never say anymore. People ask if I'd take you back, and I don't know how to answer that. Because the truth is, I don't miss you, I miss the person I thought you were. The version of you that existed only in my hope. The one who said forever and almost meant it. I think that's the hardest part, accepting that someone you loved so deeply wasn't who you believed they were. That all the promises, the laughter, the "I'll never leave" were just temporary. But you know what? I've stopped blaming you. I've stopped blaming me too. Because maybe some things are meant to end. Maybe not every love story needs to last to mean something. There's a quiet kind of strength in letting go without bitterness, in wishing someone well, even if they never think of you again. Sometimes, late at night, I still imagine what I'd say if we met again. Maybe nothing. Maybe just a smile. Because there's nothing left to fix, and that's okay. I've learned that closure doesn't come from words. It comes from peace. From walking away without needing to be understood. From realizing that losing someone doesn't mean losing yourself. Now, I wake up and the world feels lighter. The air doesn't carry your name anymore. And when I laugh, it doesn't sound like pretending. You see, pain doesn't disappear, it transforms. It turns into wisdom, into patience, into a quiet kind of love for yourself. I used to think healing meant forgetting you. Now I know it means forgiving what you left behind. Maybe that's the real ending, not when you stop caring, but when you start living again. When you stop rewriting what happened and just accept that it did. You taught me something without meaning to, that love isn't about who stays, it's about who you become after they leave. And if I ever see you again, I won't look away, but I won't reach out either. Because I finally learned how to stand in the same silence that once broke me, and feel nothing but peace. I used to think that healing had a finish line, a day when the memories would stop hurting, a moment when I'd wake up and finally feel nothing. But that day never came. Because healing isn't a destination. It's a quiet walk through everything you tried to forget. It's standing in the ruins of what was once your world, and realizing you're still breathing. Sometimes, I still catch myself wondering if you ever think about me. Not in a sad way, just curiosity, like remembering a place you once lived. Do you ever drive past where we used to go? Do you ever stop when you hear that song? Or did I just become another name in your history, a chapter you never read again? It doesn't matter, I guess. Because somewhere along the way, I stopped needing to be remembered. I just wanted peace. And for the first time in a long time, I think I found it. It came quietly, not with closure, not with answers, but with acceptance. The kind that whispers, maybe it was never supposed to last. Sometimes, I walk alone at night. The streets are empty, the air cold enough to make me feel awake. And I look up at the same stars we used to talk under. They haven't changed. But I have. I don't look for you in the constellations anymore. I just let them be. I let myself be. You were a chapter, an important one, but not the whole book. And maybe that's okay. Maybe love isn't meant to stay forever just to prove it was real. I've stopped asking why. The truth is, some people love you the best way they can, and sometimes, it's still not enough. But that doesn't make the love fake. It just makes it human. And if I could talk to you one last time, I think I'd just say, thank you, not because it didn't hurt, it did, but because that pain taught me how to love deeper, how to let go softer, and how to live without needing someone else to make me feel whole. I think about that version of me who begged you to stay, how small she felt, how afraid she was of being alone, and I wish she could see me now, how she survived every night she thought she wouldn't, how she learned to be okay with silence, how she became someone she never thought she could be. You left, and I found myself. And maybe that's the ending I never expected, not losing you, but finding me.